Thanks a lot for the opportunity. Yes, for us from the agricultural side, we are always very thankful for any market that can be established because that's the way we can bring our produce to the consumers. Even if it's abroad in other countries, especially in the SADC countries, because it's a much easier transportation system and in the country itself. So for us, a market is very important, but we should realize that a market is something that you establish and you have to nourish it. You have to keep it intact because if you cannot close a market's door one day and next day you open it and think the products will be there. And therefore, it was for us a little bit of a pity way back when they stopped the import from Botswana, export from our side of vegetables to Botswana. And now they open it up. Thanks for that. It's good. But it takes some time to establish that market again because we talk about transportation, the whole infrastructure regarding the whole bringing the produce to them, the keep intact of the cold chain because it's make sure that you have a longer shelf life, stuff like that. So all those farmers that have taken their produce to Botswana way back and then they stop it immediately, they still have that products in hand and then they look for another market and now they open it up again. So it isn't as if they just go on and proceed where they stopped last time when they close that export opportunity for them. So now the question is for these farmers, will this time, will it be sustainable? Are they going to stop it again? Because there's a free trade agreement between the SADC countries, but there is some specific points that's in that agreement that a country can stop imports from other countries, such as safety, or if they want to benefit their own farmers and according to the whole process. And if you just open up and stop, and that's not what they are doing, but I'm just a little bit concerned that it's not as if business is as usual. It's now a challenge for these farmers. And I think about especially our smaller scale farmers next to the Limpopo River, up north in the Limpopo province. It's a much easier distance away market for them if they can just transfer their produce over the border. And now we hope that this time it will be very good because markets is crucial for us and we nourish them. We have great respect for market because that's the way we bring our products to the consumers.
Yeah, I see two issues that you're highlighting, Bennie. On the one hand, it's that, there's operational infrastructure that's needed for exporting. And during this ban, that infrastructure would have been put to use for other imports. So there's also the trust issue. Do I, as a farmer, then invest in expanding my operational infrastructure for the sake of the lifting of this ban, where there is now this trust deficit between our two countries in terms of vegetable imports?
The whole issue regarding a relationship between a farmer, the producer of the food, and his market agent or the process where you bring these products to the market or to the consumer is built on trust. And we experienced now a week or so ago the whole reality in the Mozambique border and the conflict that we experienced there, and the produce cannot go through because there's strikes and other stuff going on. So there's not any purpose from the farmer side or the market agents, say in Botswana's side, that they have any negative approach regarding this. Actually, they want to make a success out of it. But there's sometimes external factors that have an influence. So the whole process should be built on a stable, trustworthy environment where you can make sure that you can, if you invest in an infrastructure process to bring your produce to those countries or those markets, it will not be stopped one way or another, because it's a lot of cost for you to make sure that this line of bringing your produce to the market is something that you establish, and you should make sure that it works and for the benefit of the consumers. Because if you bring a lot of vegetables to them that lay on the truck for 2 weeks at the border post, it's not for the benefit of the consumer and even not for the farmer themselves. So there's a lot of issues that we have to make sure, and I think the countries, and I think thanks for that, I think that's the purpose of this, picking up this agreement again is positive. It's not as if they want to make a mishap out of this. They want to make a success out of it. And I think that's for the benefit, for sure, for our farmers, but for the consumers in that side as well. There's a lot of things going on in agricultural sector in these days to produce any food on any level. Doesn't matter if it's vegetables or game, meat, cattle, doesn't matter. It's very highly driven by technology. And you have to make sure that you keep intact with the best technology that's available to be competitive, even on the markets as well. So for us, this is very important that we open up this market, and now it will start building up again. I'm quite convinced that in due time, this market will play its role again, as it should be, for this whole SADC area, so that we can have food security in all these countries. Because we know about the drought, especially in those countries north of South Africa, is devastating at this stage in those areas.
And there are lots of benefits to the lifting of this ban, particularly for Botswana in its own efforts to boost agricultural production and also to ease food pressures there. I suppose the challenge now is to ensure that these trade relations don't collapse again or are as stable as possible going into the future. Bennie van Zyl, let me thank you for your time this afternoon. He's the General Manager of the farming organization TLU SA.